feel like it's a risk, and it's just one step. Well, I never get two. Okay, so my act of faith is take the step. My trust is not ask for a second step. That's my whole faith right there, summed up. I have to bring everything down to its simplest form so I understand it.
So I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
When you got that first patent and you were standing there reading it, how did you feel?
It was really mixed emotions because it would put me right back in third grade. I remember committing to this. In fact, when I started to teach the class, that was very present for me. That how did this third grade boy cause that future? How did he do that? Okay, if he can do that, then other people can do that. So then I started to study that. You know, what's the difference in the thinking process that allowed this boy to do that? And then the class evolved around that.
Everybody needs a French father.
That tells it like it is.
Yeah, he was.
But you have a good attitude about what he said to you too, and found the real meaning into what he was saying, even though he was abrupt.
It took me long. He was dead when I figured it out.
Okay.
And I was asked a question, and I can't think the name of the group, but the question was, what price are you willing to pay to be right?
That's a good one.
And I started to think about it, and I got it. I thought my dad was wrong because he's ornery all the time, and he's mad at me all the time, and I thought he was wrong and I was right.
Yeah.
And I thought, my God, I wouldn't communicate with him. I'd listen to him, but I wouldn't. He was the boss, and he controlled everything. I did what I was told best I could, and that was it. And sometimes he'd try and talk to me, and I just was afraid of him. So I realized, because I thought I was right and he was wrong, that I denied him his son. I wouldn't communicate with him. And that the price is the price is I gave up the love of my father to be right.
But he knows
Too high
now.
a price, way too high a price. So I wrote a letter to him.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes.
And I
Yeah.
apologized for that. And then I just threw it away.
But yes.
But I didn't realize at the very late in life that I paid this terrible price to be right and denied him a son.
So how did that make you raise your children differently? What lesson did you learn from that?
It was late enough. Most of them was already older. So, and I got it. And then I was working on a book, and the professor I worked with asked me why I believed I could do anything. Most people like me just kind of can't take their eyes off their shoes,
Right.
and they don't do anything. And I got it. It was my dad.
Uh-huh.
That it's a message sent.
Uh-huh.
That made me believe I could do something. So.
Well, he knows. He knows you got it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, me too.
But it was really a rude awakening for me to get that. That, and there's no undoing it. It's too late. It's, so.
Is it you?
So some lessons are harsher than others.
Yes, aren't they, though?
Oh, yeah.
So.
But and when you did realize it and you forgave him and you write that letter, what changed for you after that?
Boy, a lot changed. A lot changed. Because you get just like a whole new awareness that, and I viewed him completely different. And more like I describe now. He was hot-headed, and it was me. It wasn't him. My brother got along. They were like brothers. Okay? And he was the same to my brother as it was to me, only I was afraid of him. So it wasn't just him. My oldest brother, Tim, he just didn't, it didn't bother him at all that screaming and hollering. It just didn't bother him.
Was he dyslexic too?
I don't think so.
That might have been the difference.
Yeah, that could sure be the difference. But anyways, we learn and we learn and we learn. And if you ask yourself, how big a price are you willing to pay to be right? You'll find out you don't really need to be right that much.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, that's a good lesson. Mm.
so
Yes.
there's just those little things that go through our lives, and if you don't read and write, they come from living. Because you can't learn from other people's experiences. You end up. The problem with that is you've got a lot of bad experiences.
Right. Yes.
Because I about tried everything.
Right.
So in fact, in the class, I asked people this question: and I ask you to this question: is it an acceptable thought in your mind to be laying on your deathbed saying, "I never even tried"?
Mm-mm.
Probably not. Probably you should not want to be able to say that.
No, I would think that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to try it, and a lot of it I tried was a really bad idea.
But at least you tried.
Yeah, give it a
Yeah,
try.
Yeah.
I did that young, and I remember I was in the gym in high school, Saginaw High, and there's some weights on the floor, and I lifted it up and tried to press it. I got it up to here, I couldn't get it over my head. And that guys are laughing at me, saying, "You thought you could lift that thing?" And I said, "I know I can't lift that thing. You don't."
They got laughing, didn't they?
Because I would try it, and now I know.
Right.
Consequently, I got in a lot of trouble throughout my years.
I
Lots
hear
of
you.
trouble. I don't want to get into confession here. It's,
Very interesting. So, if you were to talk to that young Terry Duperon that was making all those mistakes, what would you say to him?
wow, is that a tough question? For my children, I expected mistakes. They're going to make them. Just don't let it own you. Okay, there are mistakes, and then life is very, very forgiving. But there are major mistakes, and I tell them that major mistakes, anything that controls you, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, anything that controls you, you may not survive that. Most everything else, life is very forgiving, but those are ours.
Is that what you would have said to the younger you as well?
Yeah. Make the mistakes. Go ahead, have at it.
Good.
Okay. So I have measures of how much risk I want to take. It's basically, if they can't hang me and they can't shoot me, let's try it.
You would have been a good cowboy.
Or they can't put me in prison for life.
Very good, very good. Well, again, I thank you so much for being with us and sharing your adventure and your Duperon wisdom, and just really appreciate you being here. And already it's our time, so I'm gonna ask you one more question, but first I'm gonna give some plugs. So this weekend we have several things going on down here at 10 o'clock. We have Exploring Meditation. 11:30 is Learning About Essential Oils, and 12:30 is Bullet Journals. That's this Saturday, May 26th. On Thursday, I'm going to be in Grand Blanc on 1223 East Grand Blanc Road. It's called, I know I wrote it down here somewhere. You can get tickets on the Women to Women website, or there's a link right from ours to theirs, or on Facebook. They're all over the place. So please find that. I can't think of the Brick. It's called The Brick on Grand Blanc Road in Grand Blanc. That's Women to Women on the 24th on Thursday. Also, ladies, mark your calendars for June 6th. It's our next Divas Night Out at Vino Wine Warehouse, and that's always a good time. It's our Devolution Project meeting, and we're going to be talking about making dinner for the people that are at the shelter. At the women's shelter.
Women's
so
Center.
we're going, yes, the Women's Center, thanks. Hopefully, we're not going to be able to do it in June, but we're going to be able to do it in July. So we're going to be talking about that, and that is such a wonderful group of women. If you're looking to do something outside of yourself, to give to a project, it's not that much time. It's fun. It's like walking down to get water, Terry. It's that time with friends, except we drink wine, and
we don't carry it on our head,
right? And it's that time that we spend with friends, and we kind of brainstorm to see what we're going to do next, where we're going to go, what we're going to do for our community, and what we're going to do for ourselves. So please join us and just bring a friend and see what it's all about.
Half off wine.
And half off wine.
Half off.
And that's at Vino Wine
Apps.
Warehouse on the first Wednesday of every month. And the next one is June 6th. So, Terry,
Yes.
before I'm not going to let you leave yet, if you were to do anything next, sky's the limit. No, even the sky's not the limit. Just dream as big as you possibly could. What would be the thing that you would do to make a difference?
Wow, was right. That's a tough question.
I don't think it is. I think you have an answer.
I think things are changing for me. When I got into what's clear at hand, I just kind of do that. I head that way. If it makes sense, it's clear I do it. And it's not so much that I try to be loyal to the man God created. In my future, I just try and be loyal to that. And I think that will take me to unknown places. That is just fine with me. I don't really care so much at this stage of my life. I just want to keep going. So whatever presents itself, whatever shows up, whatever's clear at hand, I want to do it. And so it's not so specific anymore. It's to do with just being loyal. Okay, trust them and go. And so far, it's taken me to Ghana. It's taken me to start a new center. It takes me in all different directions. So I'm happy with that. I was thinking about the question you asked before, and I think my attitude was, what would I tell myself, that boy? I would tell him once you're dead a really long time. This is the only time you got to do anything about anything, have at it. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to do good things, you're going to do bad things. You just have at it. That would be my advice. Okay.
Very good. That's good advice.
Yeah.
So thank you, Terry Duperon, for being our guest. And Sandy, thank you for being here. And that's the end of the Devolution Show. Until next week.
Should we say that?
Yes. So until then, be real, stay true, know who you are and what you believe, because you are the Devolution. Good night. Woo.
The Devolution Show is a W4 Divas production, hosted by Deb St. Hilaire and produced by Josh Sherrill. All rights reserved.